just want to thank Reince, and I want to thank Sharon and Peter for all they do. I want to thank Reince especially for this unbelievable turnaround in the Republican National Committee. When I ran in 2010, as you all know, the RNC was not in the same position it is today. So I want to thank Reince for everything you've done. Thank you very much. Most important, spend your money. That's the deal. You come to Florida. We had 105 million tourists last year. You pay about 25% of our sales tax. We love everybody that comes to our state. And by the way, if you don't want to spend all your money, buy something. Buy a second or third or fourth or fifth home. The other part of it, you pay through your property taxes. That's how our state budget is funded. This is the best business model you can imagine. So I've got some good news. You know, we always worry. You always say, okay, the things you try, like if you're in business, you say, do they actually work? Well, if you look at our state for the last 5 years and 3 months, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Conservative principles work. Lower taxes, less regulation, personal freedom, live within your means, limited government. All of it works. Now, if you followed my race in 2010, or our race in 2010, the 4 years before I got elected, Charlie Crist did these things. He absolutely wrecked our economy. 832,000 people lost their job in 4 years. Raised taxes $2 billion. Debt went up by almost $9 billion. Home prices dropped almost 50%. Nearly half of our homes when I got elected were underwater on their mortgages. Now, when I got elected, when I ran, we ran on a campaign that said 777. 7 steps to 700,000 jobs over 7 years. And everybody laughed. There is no way you get 700,000 jobs in 7 years after losing 832,000 jobs in 4 years. But to the shock of everybody, when I won the primary and then the general, we started doing exactly that. We followed what we believe in, the conservative principles. Here's what we did. We've cut taxes 55 times. $5.5 billion in tax cuts. We've cut 4,200 regulations. We've streamlined the permitting process so you can get to work quickly. We stopped growing our tuition in our state colleges and universities. We passed tenure reform in our K-12 system. We have accountability in that system now. And we started watching how all the money is spent. And it works. In 5 years and 3 months, we've added 1,061,000 jobs. Our job growth rate is 40% faster than the national rate. Our wage growth, 40%. Our labor force growth, 50%. Right after I got elected, I sat down with Governor Perry in Texas. And I'd met him, didn't know him well. I said, my job is to kick your rear. That's what I'm going to do every day. My focus is, I'm going to focus on kicking your rear. He laughed. He said, no, didn't you lose like 800-some thousand jobs in 4 years? While in that same recession, we added 200,000 jobs in Texas. Well, let me tell you, I've called him 11 straight months when we announced employment numbers and let him know for a rolling 12-month basis, every month for 11 months, we beat Texas. He does remind me he's no longer the governor. And it never happened while he was governor. I told him his timing was just good. We've cut debt by $7.5 billion. This state had not reduced its debt in 20 years. We've cut debt by $7.5 billion. Jobs are coming back to Florida. Our K-12 system, highest graduation rate in 12 years. 4th and 8th graders, we beat the nation in reading and math. 4th grade Hispanic students, top of the nation. We cut the cost of a prepaid plan if you're going to go to state college or university in half. Our university system, highest graduation rates in the United States, the 10 largest states. STEM degrees up 3 times as fast as non-STEM degrees. So all the things that we believe in work. Because if you think about what we believe in everybody getting a job, every child having a great chance for an education, and living in a safe community. We're at a 44.5-year low in our crime rate in the state. Now, here's how I think about it. I've got pictures of my mom and my dad in my office. I have an adopted father. My mother had a tough time. She married, had 2 children, and married, and had 3 more. We lived in public housing. But my mother told me, she said, "You were lucky because you live in the United States of America." She said, "Thank God we live here because it doesn't matter. You can get out of poverty if you're willing to work hard and study hard." My adopted father had a 6th grade education. The most important thing in his life, his whole life, was could he find a steady job? He never did. He was a bus driver, then a truck driver. As a truck driver, he was laid off every holiday season. Never had a steady job. Today in Florida, he could have a steady job. There's 300,000 job openings in this state right now. So if you stop and think about it, in 5 years, we've proven that conservative principles work. Now, just imagine what would happen if we did the exact same thing at the federal level. If we did the exact same thing we've done in states like Florida. Follow the conservative principles. Now let's look at the presidential race for a second. The first thing we'd all say is it's been interesting. Which is an understatement, right? We know so many important things about our candidates. We know how tall their boots are, right? We know the size of their hands. We know who's got the best hair. Mine's easier. We know who's got the most beautiful wife. I've been married since I'm 19. I love my wife. I'm sure she would win. We know somebody's going to build a wall. Ben Carson's either the angriest person in the world or the calmest. Our candidates have been called all sorts of names. And we know we're going to start winning so much that we're getting tired of winning. That would be nice. Now, we also know that we all love Ronald Reagan. We don't care too much about Hillary Clinton. We're pro-life and we're anti-ISIS. What are we missing? What have we not talked enough about? Jobs. If you talk to anybody, and even in our state where we are headed in the right direction, the job market, growing this economy is still the most important thing on the average person's mind. If we want to win in November, we've got to start talking about how we grow this economy. Barack Obama's policies, what Hillary Clinton will do, what Bernie Sanders will do. I mean, first off, Barack Obama has ruined this economy. I mean, there's no wage growth. We're not growing. Everything has slowed down. We have got to rebuild our military. We've got to destroy ISIS. How do you do that with a bad economy? We want to secure our borders. How do you do that without a good economy? The Democrats don't have the answers. I mean, they are clueless. What's their newest, best idea? Socialism. We all grew up knowing that centralized planning has never worked. It has never worked. But their new idea is socialism. Their capitalism, growing the economy, jobs, but capitalism has done more to get people like my family out of poverty than any government program that's ever been created. There is no government program that's done as much for those that are poor than capitalism. How can we even think we would lose if we talk about how we're going to make sure everybody, doesn't matter what zip code you come from, has the opportunity for a great job and defend capitalism and let them go defend socialism? We can't lose. Now, I'm looking forward to the convention this summer. I think we all are. Again, sort of like this race, will be very interesting. I've probably shaken hands. I travel the state and generally a couple of cities a day, and I've probably shaken hands with 400,000 plus people in this state. And I listen to voters all the time. And I give you the things that I think they care about. One, they think they control the process. We work for them. When I ran in 2010, I was not the establishment candidate. The voters made a choice. The voters believe they should choose. Number 10, we have got to be transparent. We can't take a chance that we're accused of any monkey business, tricks, stunts, anything. The third thing is, let's remember the biggest issue. It's jobs, growing the economy. It's capitalism. That's what will do more for people in this country than anything else we can do. We need to talk about jobs, then we need to talk about jobs, and then we need to talk about jobs. I have never met one person that's a high school senior and said, my goal is to go live in public housing. I want to be on those food stamps. They all want to work. We have to talk about how capitalism, how growing this economy will be good for everybody. And the last thing is, we can't start thinking about 2020. We cannot lose this year. If you just start and think about your own family for a second, your children, in our case, we have 4 grandsons. But think of your neighbors. This is an important election. Whoever a nominee is, we have to support them. And we have to win. I just want to tell you, it's a real honor to be here. I'm appreciative. I know it's not easy to do what you're doing. There's a lot of people that want to criticize what you're doing. I know all of you are going to work very hard and you're going to do the right thing. I just want to thank you for what you're doing. By the way, move to Florida. It's a great place. Spend all your money here. Buy a few homes here. Our budget's growing rapidly. I like that. It's a lot easier. But God bless every one of you, and God bless our country. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Scott.